Hey guys, WantClue here. I hope all of you are doing really well and having a really great day. In today's video, I want to show you how super simple it is to build your do-it-yourself kit and how cheap it can be. So let's get started and right into it. So as you can see, I do have something here in front of me. This is a disposable vape, e-vape, whatever you want to call them. Basically smoking. Full disclosure, don't smoke, don't start smoking. And I gathered this and let's say a bunch more. I basically just was walking around the city and just picking them up from the bottom or from trash bins. And by the way, if you do so, please make sure that you do use some sort of protection gloves or something like this, because it's really, it's not a good idea to do this without it. But what we want to do here today is we want to create our own little power bank. And for that, you do need a couple of these vapes. And I do have these ELF bars here in front of me. And the only part that we need from this is from the inside, small batteries. They look like this on the inside. This here is a battery from this ELF bar. A couple of them look a little bit different, like this, from other manufacturers and stuff like this. But basically what these two batteries have in common, they are similar, sometimes similar in the size of capacity, and they are similar in the output voltage that they do provide. And one major thing that they also do have in common is they don't have any sort of charging or discharging protection. So this is something that we're going to do here today, and where we will make sure that everything is protected. And so let me tell you what we need. We need a couple of these here. And to be specific, we need at least like 3 of these to create a small battery pack. And I do have something 3D printed here, which will fit up to 3 of these batteries. If I just place them inside here, you do see what I'm talking about. You can place up to 3 inside here, interconnect them, and then connect them with such a charging circuit here. And this is something I have not presented to you. This is a small charging circuit which you can use to charge up your phone and recharge it. Basically, with the micro USB, you can charge the battery pack, and with the USB connector, you can charge up your phone or any other accessory that you do have that uses up to 5 volts. This will be charging up to 1 amps, so we're sitting at like 5 watts that this thing can output. To be fair, I'm not really sure if these cells can handle this, but I do have built myself a couple of these battery packs now, and none of them bursted into flames. So I just thought it might be a cool idea to do this on a video and show to you guys how this works, because with this one you can create your own basically for free battery packs. You just need to purchase these charging circuits, and by the way, I will put down a link in the video description to these ones here. Then you need a 3D printer. If you don't have a 3D printer, hopefully a friend of yours does have one, so that they can print the files. And also I will put down the files in the video description. So let's dive into this, and let's open up one of these. So basically what you need is some sort of a tweezer, and then you just try to grab the bottom part as good as possible and then wiggle out this battery here. Yeah, here in front, that's the thing that creates the smoke. I'm not interested in it. What we want to do, and let me quickly grab another one. Let me put that back here. Let me quickly grab another one here. What we want to do is basically just cut off these wires, because we're not interested in any of these things. The only thing that we're really interested in is the battery. That's all we need. And I'm just cutting off these wires here. And as you do see, let me cut off this one as well. We now have a cell. And this one here has obviously been used. So let me quickly pull up my multimeter so that we can talk about this. Let me put up the voltage here. We're sitting at 3.77 volts, 3.77, 3.5. Something in the range. So this one is basically empty. This one has not been charged. And I used one of these charging ports here, and that's by the way how they look. Like you do have B minus here on this side, B minus and B plus. This is basically battery plus positive and battery negative. and everything else will be handled in the front here. I will go over this because we need to modify this slightly to fit into the case. Maybe I just ordered the wrong units, but this one here that I do have specifically in my hand, this needs to be adjusted, I'd say, a little bit. Let's now take a look on the cells here that I do have prepared, because I do have a couple of them, as I said, laying around here. And now we do see we're sitting at like 4 volts, 4.05 volts. There we go. So I charged this up using this small circuit that I showed you, basically just by using a micro USB like this one here, plugging it into any charger, and then you just charge it. And my idea today is to just solder with you a little bit and show you how easy it is to set up your own battery pack. The first thing that I usually do is, let me quickly go over the tools that you do need. Obviously you need some solder and an iron like this one here, and a couple of tweezers and a little bit electromagnetic tape. Let me quickly pull out a little bit of this tape, because what I want to do is I want to tape them together. And what we're going to do now is, this now fits perfectly into this case here. I'll probably put it in like this. And what we need to do now is we need to interconnect all these positive ports and all these negative ports so that we do have one straight line basically. And I do have a couple of cables prepared here already. I use these cables from these e-cigarettes that are in there to interconnect the negative ports, because they're usually pretty good. They should be enough for what I'm doing here. And it's basically a straightforward process. So let me apply this one here first. These ports, they do have a little bit of solder on them. An ideal way would be to put on a little bit more solder, and that's the reason why I do have a little bit here with me. Yeah, and now it falls off. I do have a third hand next to me, but I just wanted to show it to you as good as possible. There we go. And now let's connect this over to the second terminal. Let's apply a little bit of solder first. There we go, that's good. And one important thing here is, do not put too much heat, or for a long period too much heat on these things. You don't want to burst your batteries into flames. I'm just saying, yeah, be careful while you're doing this, and especially be careful every single time when you do anything with batteries. It's always a life hazard, or at least dangerous at some point. If you don't know what you're doing, don't follow my steps. I just need to say this. Yeah, just need to make sure that everything is well connected. There we go. This looks good. It's a little bit ugly, I do know. It's not the perfect one. And if any of you is any electrician or anything else, don't blame me. I'm trying my best. So now we are going on the other side, on the positive side, and basically we do the same over there as well. As I said, the most important thing here is that you do not put too much heat for a long period of time on them. Otherwise you might damage these cells, and I don't want to do that, you don't want to do that, so just keep this in mind. Short and quick, that's what I'm doing here as well. Alright, let's see, let's do the last one. And I also need to connect like the ends of this one here. Let me quickly get rid of these ugly ends, but just in a second. I need to firstly connect this one here. There you go, that looks good. Let me try to measure the voltage now. I mean, it should be 4.05. Just for the record, I'm doing so. Let's see here, probe, there, probe. 4.05, yeah, that's looking good. Alrighty, and now we need to connect this one here to the positive and negative terminals of this small battery. So we do have these good terminals here already. So let's see. 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05, 4.05 That's probably the better way to do it. All right, let me quickly connect negative before we go with positive. Should be fairly simple. I mean, you should just tinker around a little bit with the orientation, because you want to make sure that it is orientated properly, like it is laying like this in this enclosure. So therefore that's just what I'm saying. All right, and let's do this side as well. I hope you can see that as clear as possible. Now just trying to connect the positive terminal. Now that's getting pretty toasty on my hand. So let me get my tweezers here again. All right, now we're floating away. That's not good. Yeah, this here is the tricky part. You need to connect it and still keep the connection with the interconnection, you know? There we go. Now a little bit more solder paste on top of it. There's solder on the paste. Today we're not soldering anything with paste. It doesn't look too good. Quickly fix that. There we go, that looks good. And now we do have our small battery pack basically. So we put this in here. And as you can see, it fits right in here. And now comes the tricky part, as I said. As you do see, this one right here is stripped at the end. If I do compare it with this one, you do see that this is a full PCB and this one here stripped. What I basically did, I cut off the end of it because the enclosure that I found here is not capable of featuring the whole PCB. There is, if you do take a look on the inside, you might be able to see it. Let's see, yeah. Here there are some curves inside so that it sticks in its position, but it's still too long to fit in this enclosure. So that's the reason why I did what I did here. I cut off the end of this PCB and then it fits into it. So what I do is I go down here, I adjust it a little bit so that it snaps into these grooves, and then it's still a little bit too big for it, but I just use pressure and pressure. Wait, let me adjust it a second time. All right, now it looks like it's in a good spot. At least what I do think. Let me move it over a little bit. There we go. And now just a little gentle bit of pressure to put it into the right spot. There we go. Now it's into position. And as you do see, we do have the terminals here. And what I like to use in the inside of these waves, let me show this to you. There are these soft thingies. What I usually do is I take them out and I just use them at the sides here in order to keep this device off from just making any noise, you know? So let me get another one. So as I said, I do have plenty of these e-vapes lying around here. I just gathered them from the streets, and I thought it might be a cool idea to show it to you guys so that you can actually see how easy it is to build your own battery pack. Now just close it, and there we go. Let me quickly get a phone and a charger. 1 second. So one good thing here is I do have my old iPhone here next to me, which is completely empty. Let me just quickly plug it in here. And then I do plug it into this one here, and we will be able to see how far we can charge one iPhone. This is an iPhone 12, by the way, a couple of years old, with just these 3 cells. So let me plug it in, and as you do see, it's now red lighting. The enclosure is a little bit red here in the front. Let's see, so this boots up, and it will now be a quick fly over it to see how far we can charge the iPhone. So yeah, I plugged in the phone, and as you do see, it is charging up here. So that's working. I'm not really sure how far I can get this iPhone, because this one is it's reset, and therefore this iPhone doesn't show the percentage up here. but I try my best to make a picture as soon as this is fully charged up. Yeah, but basically I do think that covers everything about this little do-it-yourself battery bank that you can do. And obviously now after putting on the lid, you need to put a little bit of tape around it. But it's fairly simple to use. You do have plenty of these e-vapes laying around, and you can simply just reuse them. How cool is that? So I do think that's a good idea to just give them a second life instead of having them being crushed in the bin. So yeah, that's it for today's video. If you do enjoyed it, I would highly suggest you to like and subscribe to my channel, because that's the way I do know that you like this content and I do produce more of this. So thanks for watching and see you on the next one.